أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من شر الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Inshallah, today we are going to discuss the second verse available on the list which was sent to you. And so therefore today is going to be our lesson 2. Lesson 2, however, the verse is not this one. We forgot to adjust second verse. And second verse is basically 8, 17, 20. 8, 17, 20. Where did my slide go? Okay. So Surah 8 from 17 to 20. Good. So this is going to be our verse of discussion today. Let's try to ponder and reflect. And as I mentioned, according to the hadith, the verses of Quran are interlinked with each other. So to get a proper understanding of the verse, it is nice to connect the verses together, link together. What is before, what is after, all these things, it is really important for us to interlink them. Because as our Imam ﷺ mentioned, that they are like the pearls connected to each other in the necklace. So if you take out one, the pearl will look ugly. I mean, it will look nice, but there's something missing. So in order to understand the Quran as whole and soul, it is always nice to link the pre-verses to the post-verses. Yes, I think you are right. It's Surah 80. Accidental. Let me just fix this. Where did my slide go? Okay, so verse 80, I mean Surah 80 and 17 to, yeah. Good. So let's come back to our yes. Okay. So last week, just a quick reminder to link the last week's lesson to this lesson. So we were talking about Asma'illah al-Husna and pondering on each one name of these names, of beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It gives you more and more depth about the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Marifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the word yanzuru was popped in, and there were some questions about yanzuru. What does that mean? We are going to discuss that today, because today also we have the ayat which talks about yanzuru. Okay, and then we realize that there are two systems. One is the system of malakut, and one is the system of physical. Now, this is according to Allama Tabatabai. So physical system is khalq, metaphysical system is amr, and this is the system which is malakut. However, many other scholars, they disagree with Allama Tabatabai. They say malakut is the whole kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is divided into khalq and amr. And obviously the legislative system, the laws, which we set it here down. Okay, so basically, and I'm inclined towards other scholars that because Surah Yasin indicates biyadi malakutu kulli shay'in. So even the physical world, it has to start somewhere from metaphysical point. Like nothing cannot bring a thing. You see, nothing cannot create a thing. So how can a thing come out of nothing? Kun fayakun, zapping power needs to be there. So if there was a kun fayakun zap, that nothing became a thing. So now all these things which were looking at the creation, these are things, correct? So now these things, they were nothing once upon a time. So these nothing, they came out from nothing to a thing, to all these atoms and molecular or whatever, the small particles, and they started becoming bigger and bigger. So before these particles, there was nothing. Okay, so now this nothing into a thing requires kun fayakun. So that means if malakut was kun fayakun power, so even this physical world has been born out of nothing through kun fayakun power. And then Allah set the biological laws, physical laws, chemical laws, all this setting up was initial setup. So God made this setup initially. That means initial setup of God requires kun fayakun, because there was no laws, no biological law, no chemical law, no physical law, no mathematics. So so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala presented this, that means out of nothing. So the whole thing basically, so Surah Yasin gives us a good indication, biyadihi malakutu kulli shay, malakut of everything, physical world and metaphysical. So this was something we discussed, and then also we spoke about the further examples about the amr and khalq. So we discussed about the kun fayakun, and we tried to relate all those verses together. Now those who missed, they can always go back to YouTube Al-Qaim Hausa, if it has been uploaded there. Hopefully today also, inshallah, we will try to upload it. So let's come today and check today's ayat. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Okay, this yanzurun, that's going to be a discussion on this nazar. So don't they observe, don't they look? So now this nazar is like ra'a, is like basar, but nazar and ra'a, they come in the context of physical looking and metaphysical. That means intellectual thought process, pondering, consideration. So don't they look at the camel, or don't they see the camel? Okay, don't they look at the camel? Look at the camel. Unzur, unzur, look at the camel. But here, some scholars, they say this nazar has a sense of pondering. It is not separate. So when you look at something, look at with your thought process, look at intellectually, look at physically with your eyes, but ponder in it. So this nazar is your allowing your thought to process. So if you look without the thought process, then it will be just eyesight, which is basar. Basar is eyesight. Okay, we are going to talk more detail, but at this point, what is the difference between basar? Basar is looking with eyes. Nazar is looking with eyes, but it could mean thought process. Ra'a means he saw. So nazara, he looked. Like let's take basara. Basara, okay, he saw. Nazara, he looked. Ra'a, he sighted. I'm sorry, it's opposite. So we have basara, sight. You sight something. So the basira is insight. So sight, insight. Okay. Then we have nazara, look. And then we have ra'a, also see. So he saw, ra'a. Nazara, he looked. So these are, but they come together many times. They are interchangeable meanings, words for interchangeable meanings. So the main thing is the clue. What is the clue that it is meant for looking with the eyes or pondering with the thought? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to look at the camel, obviously he doesn't want her to get married with the camel. Or what? What look? No. Any look you will look at a creature by command of Allah, it has to be thought process, pondering in it. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to look at the camel? What is in the camel? Even if you want to slaughter the camel for your house, you will look into it with pondering. Does this camel have enough meat or not? Let me buy another camel. So there will be always thought process associated with nazar. Okay? Because nazar, nazari, theory, thought process. So there is this word is used for looking and also looking with thought process normally. but it can be just mere look as well. So the context defined. Here, our context is known. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to look at the camel and connect it with the creation and connect it with the, through theory of causality, theory of nadariyat is-sababiyya wa sababu, the theory of causality, connect it and conclude that there is God. So this nazar, afala yanzurun. Yes, I looked at the camel. Okay, it looks nice. No, not like that nazar. Wow, it's tall. No, not like connect, reflect. Reflect that this nazar is associated with reflection, with pondering, with connecting with the thought process, the theory of causality, and concluding that there is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Okay, this camel is a very unique animal. I will not have time to go to the uniqueness, but who kept this uniqueness? Random cannot create this uniqueness. There has to be somebody who made a setup of the camel in a way that it can be used by the people in the desert. Until the car is invented, until the train is invented, until the plane and the ship are invented, or let's say the ships were there, but until these land traveling means of land traveling transportation system is made, the camel was the only main transportation means for family. However, for wars, for traveling fast, for messengers, horse was there. But horse had its limitation. But camel was over and all a best mean of transportation for the people until the new gadgets were invented. So try to look. I sent you a link of the camel, but it's in Arabic. But try to look. There's so much uniqueness. Even the storage of water. You know, there are times people will be thirsty in desert. So what they will do, they will slaughter the camel, but they will carefully make a slit in the hump to take the water out. So now you will say, ew, who will drink the water inside the hump? Well, when you are thirsty and you find water, and camel is grass-eating animal. There's no animal product inside that water. So it is the same like drinking that water from the stream, and there are so many microbes and germs inside it. But you are used to you are not pampered in those days. You would drink water from the stream, and there'll be germs, and your body will fight it. But since we started drinking filter waters, and that's why whenever like people, they go to Pakistan, you see, the first day they drink tap water, they have diarrhea, finish. So what should we, but they're surprised. Okay, those restaurants, those people who are, or restaurants, people eating food there, and they don't put filters and everything. They just have tap waters and they give you pani, okay? How? Because they have immunity, which you have lost it because of your lavish life. You see, nice filtered water, nice this, nice that. Obviously, your body is now very pampered, cannot tolerate. Those people, they can tolerate. So this water inside the camel hump, it's a storage. Find an animal which is storage. Now, who made this capacity of camel can store? Don't tell me coincidence, okay? That does not work out. It's properly planned and programmed animal with every unique in its design, like the eyelids, you see, the hair on the eyelids, they're like a very unique way. The ears, they are in a very unique way that it can cover itself. You see, when the dust and everything might be coming sandstorm, now try to cover, like some weird people, they move their ears, but they cannot cover it. I've seen some of our weird youth, they do like something by themselves. I said, how the hell do you guys do that? So, but camels, they have this capacity to maneuver their body based on the temperature of the desert, based on the sandstorm of the desert, their feet. I'm not going to detail, this will take too much time. But the thing, I'm just giving you a few examples of the uniqueness of camel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't look at the camel just like that. Ponder in that camel, and you will find me everywhere. You will find that I exist. Okay, yanzuruna. We are going to talk more about yanzuruna. وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ. And look at the mountains, how they were raised. I'm sorry, إِلَى السَّمَاءِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ. Look at the heavens, how they have raised. Now, what are we talking about? The heavens and how they are raised. Now, when we look into the sky, we see stars. The stars are like kind of hanging metaphorically. stars and planets and all these celestial bodies. Now, who made them hanging? Wouldn't they come on the earth and collapse on our heads and destroy the earth? No, somebody's taking care of them. Somebody made gravity rules. Somebody made the centrifuge movements. Somebody made all this kind of mechanism of the movement of the planets in a way. These movements are keeping them hold in the heavens, and they don't collapse on us. And sometimes you will see something splits like meteor and here and there. And yet that also Allah had given us a kind of defense mechanism, an ozone layer, which does not allow these kind of celestial bodies which try to penetrate Earth. It becomes destroyed. It becomes in powder, or they become in small particles, rather than smashing somebody's house or destroying somebody's tent or something like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made. Who did this calculation of the ozone and calculation of the gravity, and so many of these celestial bodies which are attacking, and we hear, oh, there's a meteor coming on the earth. Somehow it passes by the earth. Who allows that thing to happen? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one. He has made all these kind of configuration, and that requires a lot of mathematics. Don't tell me universe by itself is so intelligent that it can plan and make mathematical equations. No, these mathematical equations, if you study algebra, your brain will get tumors, okay, metaphorically speaking. So therefore, this algebra, complicated algebra with preciseness and like most of the things, someone has set up this. وَإِلَى السَّمَاءِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ. Haven't you seen how these heavens, they're in the sky, or how they have been raised? You see, these heavens mean heaven and whatever heaven includes. وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ. And the mountains, how they have been made firm. And scientifically, these are pegs. We require mountains, otherwise the earth will shatter. So they hold the earth. They are like the pillars of the tents, which they hold the tent. So therefore, you also can further go to investigation intellectually. What are the intellectual connections? What are the scientific? Like whenever you see these kind of things, natural science, try to connect it. If you're a scientist, you've studied biology, chemistry, try to see how the heavens are raised. Ponder in it. You will find answers, because these are for everybody who has the background, scientific background. The mountains, how can the mountains are pegs? There is a book by Maurice Bucaille, a French scholar. He has taken these verses and the scientific verses of the Quran. You'll find this book on YouTube or on Facebook, or I mean on Google. Mullah Google will help you with that. Try to find why is mountain so unique? What the hell? What the heaven? What the heaven is with the mountain? What is the uniqueness? Science will tell you why mountains are unique. وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ. And see how the earth has been formed, the surface. So if the earth was flat, we'd have had problems. How? You know, because of the mountain, we have valleys. So the water of rain falls, it becomes, because of this ups and downs, we have rivers, and the rivers, they distribute the waters. So basically the mountains, they distribute the waters. The surface of the earth is formed in a way that water goes not just sticks one place. No, it goes everywhere. If it was flat, the whole earth was packed with water. There would be no place on the face of the earth where people could find place to live. They'll be living on like if this happens, what they say, global warming, and the whole earth will be packed with water, then you really realize you'll try to find higher lands. Like in the United States, whenever you purchase a land, there are cheap lands, expensive lands. So one of the characteristics of the cheap lands, when you find a cheap land, they'll tell you, wait. Just see, it's not in the flood zone. Flood zone means they are not on the lower lands, because when the rain will come, your house will be sinked. So that's why lower land in the mountain areas, they don't buy these lands, okay? Or those people are desperate, they buy, but they have to raise these houses higher. But those upper land, those plateau houses, those are more expensive. So therefore, these ups and downs, they help the water go around different areas, different lands, and then agricultural product happens. Animals, they get their water. Human, they get their water. Everybody. So this is the mountains and the way the earth has been shaped. This is creating a kind of pipeline for the water resources and other benefits you can find out if you do scientific pondering. Okay, so now let's come back to our pondering in the some of the words of the ayat. Now I would like, because our topic is Marifat, correct? So this is now giving us what type of Marifat? The intellectual Marifat, the logical Marifat, the Marifat through science, the Marifat through logic. Then it's going to take you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I would like also to ponder, like remember the pearls, the beads of the pearl, the necklace, they are attached with each other. I would like to also check out the surah and see what kind of connection is there with these ayat. Why these ayat are chosen for Marifat? I mean, okay, intellectual Marifat, but what is the result? What is the consequences? So therefore, I will just now go to this the website where we can go look, just have a look at the surah. And if you have your Quran in front of you, then you are most welcome to check out the Quran. So let me just quickly surf through the ayat. Let me share. So if you, in case if they don't have Quran in front of you, let's share the screen. Good. So now we have Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hal ataka hadithul ghashiyah. What the ghashiyah is? What is that dude has to do with the camel and with the what does ghashiyah has to do with the Marifat? Well, for your information, ghashiyah is the consequences of Marifat. Consequences of Marifat and lack of Marifat. How? You know, I mentioned this thing last week. Let me just remind you that our nafs, we have three components. We have a soul, okay? We have ruh, that is the purest creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is ruh, okay? This is the light that can feel the existence of God. That is the Marifat component we have. Everyone has it. But Yazid covered it totally dark. Oh, sorry, this is not Yazid. Yazid is darker, more darker. Okay, his light was packed. Okay, his light was totally packed. So he could not see God. Why did it happen? He chose that. Because the more you commit haram, the more you disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this light becomes, it closes and closes and closes and closes until it becomes total dark, that you cannot feel the existence of Allah. Those people were in Karbala, their hearts had become dark. Okay, they could not sense that they were committing grievous crime, murdering the grandson of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To this extent, the qasawa, the hardness of the heart becomes qasawa. It's not the food you eat in Africa. No, it's a hardness of the heart. So, but for those who are companions of Imam Hussein, they could see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with their heart. They could feel the existence. They could connect themselves totally with Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. So when I bring a cover and cover the light, so this is called Rishwa. The ladies in Arab countries, some of them, they wear this burqa. This is called Rishwa. In Qatar and Persian Gulf, they say Rishwa or Bushiya, Rishwa. So Rishwa means covering. Okay, so this is now Rishwa. Rishawa. Okay, so who are these Ghashiyah? Hal ataka hadithul Ghashiyah? It has a lot to do with Marifat. Okay, this whole surah is interconnected together. We will not feel the taste of this surah unless if we try to connect the ayat together. So what is this Ghashiyah? Ghashiyah is those whose hearts are covered. They did not get the Marifat. They did not allow themselves to clean their nafs so that they could see God, feel the existence of God. So these are the Ghashiyah, number one probability. Number two probability, Ghashiyah is the people of Day of Judgment, because this surah talks about the people of the paradise and people of the hellfire. But we have not seen them, so they are covered from us as human. We have not seen them. We got the information, but we have not seen them with our eyes, so they are covered. Or they are in the barzakh being punished and in the paradise of barzakh, but still we can't see them. They are covered. So either they are the people of the barzakh covered, or people of the akhirat, or people of the barzakh and akhirat all together. Okay, so either this ghashiyah is a group of people who did not attain marifat, or either ghashiyah is the people who are being punished and people being enjoyed, entertained. We cannot see them because we get theory, we have not seen them with ours, so they are covered. We only have information. Or these are the people, potential human being. Everybody has this ghashiyah, good and bad. But what happens? Let me come back to the ghashiyah. Where is my Noor? Okay, there you go. MashaAllah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So this is the ghashiyah. Okay, this is the ghishwa. Now we all are, at some point, we have ghishawa. Okay, so all the human being. So there are two types of human being. There are human being, they keep cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. I'm talking everybody other than the Imam Masoom. Imam Masoom, they don't have ghashiyah. They're always lighting. Okay, so that's why Imam Ali says, wherever I see, I can see God here and there and up and down. I see God. I see God. God everywhere around me. So this one, everybody has ghashiyah because we come with this nafs. This is nafs. This nafs covers this light of God inside us. So once the more you do good deeds, the more you are nice, the cover uncovers. Okay, so it becomes like a more lighter, and then it becomes finally, wow, presto. Those people who commit sins, they become darker and darker and until they are وَعَلَىٰ أَبْصَارِهِمْ غِشَاوَةٌ. Remember this ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah? Their eyes have, or their sights have curtains, but their eyes don't have curtains. They're open eyes. That means the eyes of the heart have the covers. See, so that is how al-ghashiyah. Again, in conclusion, al-ghashiyah could mean people of the hereafter and people of the barzakh. Al-ghashiyah could mean those people who remain their light covered. Al-ghashiyah could be any human at the end of the day of judgment. It could be in two groups: those who removed their ghashiyah, those who did not remove. So let's see quickly. This ayat talks about al-ghashiyah. So first, from ayat 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7 talks about those who left this world with the ghashiyah, with the darkness. Okay, so that means this is the system of Amr, correct? So we are talking about the surah started with the system of Amr. You can ponder in this ayat later on that what type of horrifying punishment is there, like boiling water and all those kind of things, because it's not my topic. I'm just trying to link the surah together. Okay, this is the ghashiyah. This is the ghashiyah whose hearts are blocked and they are going to suffer in the hellfire. Now, if ghashiyah means two groups, some they remove the ghashiyah, some they cover. So we spoke about the covered ghashiyah. Now we are going to talk about those who removed the ghashiyah. وَجُوهٍ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٍ. So this is also from the system of Amr. It's from the unseen world. It's from the hereafter. So وُجُوهٍ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٍ. These are the mu'mineen, the believers, the God-loving, the pleased ones. They are going to be in the lofty place in the paradise. So therefore, we have here, لَا تَسْمَعُ فِيهَا لَاغِيَةً until verse 11 or 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So 16, until 16. So from 1 to 7 were like people of hell, the one who had kept their ghashiyah, and then from 8 to 16, those who removed their ghashiyah and they are in the paradise. You see, those they remove and they're entertaining. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, okay, the question, okay, Ya Allah, so now we know there are people, they remove the ghashiyah, they are in Jannat. There are people, the ghashiyah is there, the cover is there, they're in the hellfire. How can I remove the ghashiyah, Ya Allah? Easy. Don't have seen the camel. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ. These people in the ghashiyah, though their hearts are blocked, don't they use their intellect? Don't they open their mind? Don't they realize that there has to be somebody who has to who had created this camel in a very unique way. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. So see connection. Now Allah is telling us how you can remove the ghashya of the intellect and ghashya of the heart. So first we have to remove from the intellect, then allow our heart to bond the method of Imam Hussein, direct light. Ya Allah, send me a direct light to recognize you. And then haven't they seen how the heavens, like Sama'i Kaifa Rufi'at, how they were raised? You see? And then heavens. So Allah is trying to tell us, this is how we can remove the ghashia. This is how we can remove the covers, the curtains, the veils, the blockade, or whatever is there in your mind and intellect and in your heart. Use your intellect, clean your intellect. وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ فَذَكِّرْ. O Muhammad, remind them how to remove the ghashia. Okay? People, they have ghashia. They, especially idol worshippers and all these wrongdoing people, they have serious ghashia. Remind them, they might be able to remove the ghashia. Okay? فَذَكِّرْ. Because you're only a reminder. There is no compulsion in religion. Don't pressure on them. Don't put pressure on them. Just remind them. فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُسَيْطِرٍ. I've not said you to control them, force them, put pressure on them. Okay? إِلَّا مَنْ. So you remind them. Those people, they will remove their ghashia. There are people, no, they will run away. There's an ayat also, staghshaw. They covered their heads. They don't want to hear the talk of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam as well. So, illa man tawalla. These people who left you and who have turned their backs away from you and rejected you and denied you, there's no. So what will happen to them? Again, the surah, see how beautifully the surah is linked. The surah started with adab. The surah is ending back to the adab point. فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ الْعَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرِ. Okay, Allah will punish them with the severe punishment. Okay, then what? Then what? Connect. Inna ilayna iyabahum. So now it is ghashia, but when they come back to us, every cover will be removed. Like there's an ayat says, when people they die, the curtains are away. The ghashia is away. Oh my goodness, what have we done? They realize they're wrong. Inna ilayna iyabahum. They're going to return to us. Okay, so this is also a point of Marifat, that we have been in a system, so that light has been embedded in that system. That means this awareness, the intellectual potential of recognizing Allah and having Marifat, it has been there. We brought it with us on the earth, and we are going to go back with it. But this earth, we have this ghashia. Our challenge is to keep the ghashia away, or keep cleaning our nafs and from this blockade and filth. And then Allah says, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ. So that means if we try to connect the beginning of the surah, okay, this is one of the methods of tafsir. هَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ الْغَاشِيَةِ. Who are these ghashia? These are the ones who Allah is going to punish them, you see, because He's going to account them. Inna alayna hisabahum. So beginning of the surah talks about ghashia. So we said there are three probabilities. Now this end of the surah gives us stronger probability. So these ghashiyas are the criminals who have left this world, and their hearts were covered with the ghishawa. So this is something I wanted just to let you know how we can connect. Now let's go back to our slides and check the other, and continue pondering until we are done with our session today. So now science logic is required to understand this ayat. So check out the scientific uniqueness or unique properties and characteristics of these 4 ayat. You will enjoy. Now we come to this ghashia itself. What is ghashia means? Remember, I give you 3 probabilities. And usually we try to have a holistic view of the session. So we try to ask the linguist people. And I've kept this link also. You can also, these are the tools that you can also do your researches in future. If you would like to research about an ayat, what is the literal meaning? What is the Quranic meaning? Literal meaning we find in the lexicons or in the dictionaries, language dictionaries, and try to find out the most ancient words when the Quran was descended. So al-ghashiyah, cover. Remember this cover? Okay, cover. Okay, al-ghashiyah, ghilaful qalb, the membrane over the heart is also called al-ghashiyah, membrane over. Remember I said this is our heart, our nur, our intellect, our ruh, and it is covered. So Quran has taken this kind of analogy that physical heart has a membrane and used it for metaphysical and metaphorical analogy connection. So our heart literally has a membrane. Intellectual heart has a membrane. The intellectual heart is our ruh, according to the philosophers, and most of the philosophers. And what covers is the lust, the desires, the nafs, the jacket of desire. So this is my ruh, the light. Let me just go back to this light and okay. So this is my ruh, my intellect, the one which detects Allah. And this is my nafs. Okay, so this is the easiest. It's not as easy as it sounds, but I've tried my best to make it as easy as possible. So otherwise, it's when you go to the philosophy, it's very complicated. Sometimes they make it very complicated. But this is the easy thing. Okay, that I can juice this out from the hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam and from the ayat of the Quran. This is our setup. We have ruh, which is pure, kun fayakun power. Then we have nafs, which is between this body and the ruh, and this is the lustful. This is the animal area. So we have angel, we have animal properties. This is the animal. Nafs is animal, which has lust for food, lust for sex, lust for all these kind of things. And then we have the body, which performs these functions. So ghilaf al-qalb, a cover of the heart. This is also something which is one of the linguistic meaning. And they also, because Quran is source of language as well for Arabs, so they also use this ayat of Surah Yusuf. أَفَأَمِنُوا أَن تَأْتِيَهُمْ غَاشِيَةٌ مِّنْ عَذَابٍ. You see, are they secure that a cover of azab will come and cover them? So when azab falls, it's like a cover, metaphorically, falling on people. Cover of rain, cover of storm, cover. It covers, the azab covers the people. So people, no one is excluded. Except for the believer, they have to leave, evacuate before the azab comes. So ghashiyahum covers them. So they use this as a cover. Ghashiyatul firash, bed sheet, bed cover. Ghashiyatul qalb, heart membrane. Ghashiyatul shay, anything's ghashia is the cover or the hijab. Okay. Ghashiyatul ain, eyes, ghashia, this eyelids are ghashiyatul ain. Okay. Or the corneal membrane. So anything which is cover, ghashia is literally a cover. Even if somebody faints, they say غشي عليه. غشي يعني غش. In Urdu, in Urdu in majalis we don't say غش खा के गिर गई, غش के आलम में. That means why? Because here ghashia means like his intellect got covered and he fainted. Like the intellect is not functioning. Everything like somebody kept a cover, now he's not able to move. So this covering also, like majnoon, the junoon. Junoon means covering also. Like a crazy guy. Why do we call them majnoon? Because the intellect has been covered by something. He cannot think properly. So lihaf and all these kind of things you can ponder later on. Let's check in the Quran. So Quran 29 times the derivatives of this word ghain, sheen, ya, or ghain, sheen, waw, or ghain, sheen, alif has been used. Okay, so ghashia is also from this family, literally, which means cover. But metaphorically, it has been used for a little bit slightly different meaning. But it is all, if you boil the meaning, even metaphorical meaning, you see, it will overwhelming some. They said so overwhelming because you're covered with so many things. Now you don't know what to do. So covered. So literal meaning is covering. So people in the hereafter, I spoke these three things because they are hidden. We cannot see them except what Quran tells us. People of Barzakh, we said all these probabilities are acceptable. But the whole Surah Al-Ghashiyah tells us, no, these Ghashiyah are those people who are punished, because at the end, they're going to come back to us in that Ghashiyah form. We are going to account them. And in the beginning, it started with punishment. But Quran also tells that those people who remove the Ghashiyah. So people of paradise, they cannot be Ghashiyah. Potentially in dunya, they had Ghashiyah, but they removed. So in paradise, they don't have Ghashiyah. And again, people of the hellfire, because they are covered and closed by layers of hellfire, layers of fires. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَهُمْ فِي مِنْ جَهَنَّمْ مَهَادٍ, they are going to stay in Jahannam. وَمِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ غَوَاشٍ. So the Jahannam is closed. They cannot see anything above, unless if Allah wants to see, to show them the people of paradise, to let them burn more and more in the heart. Okay, we wish we had done that. Then that is something else. So this, and in Surah Humaza, إِنَّهَا عَلَيْهِمْ مُؤْصَدَةٌ, the hellfire, نَارُ اللَّهِ الْمُوقَدَةِ الَّتِي تَطَّلِعُ عَلَى الْأَفْئِدَةِ, the fire of Allah, which is ignited, blazing fire of Allah. Innaha alayhim muqsada, it covers them. So they are totally covered, like we can picture them. They are in a water surrounds them from every side. So they are like in the fire is surrounding them from every side, from down up. They drink boiling water and everything. May Allah protect you and us from all these tormented conditions of the hereafter by the sake of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And then we have this, I'm going to come to the question and answer. So context of surah, two types of people who have the ghashiyah potentially in dunya. Or say every human comes with ghashiyah, or the cover of the soul around the pure spirit of the intellect, or the light, spirit or the intellect or the light of God inside us that detects Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who do not attempt to remove, sorry for the spelling mistakes, I'll fix it later on. The ghisha, they don't remove, their heart remains covered with the ghisha, and end up into committing sins due to the lack of marifat. So it works both ways. The more you clean, the more you get marifat. The more you keep it filthy and do commit sins, the more you go away from marifat. Those who succeed in removing the ghisha, their light can see God. Thus they gain more and more of the marifat. So in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, the word Ghashiyah, it has something directly to do with marifat. Directly. So use intellectual marifat by pondering on those four scientific things, then allow your light, clean your nafs from this Ghashiyah, and then you will find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala everywhere. And then remember in the surah was Inna ilayna iyabahum. This is a point of marifat as well. So remind them, because we mentioned this, فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. So the surah started from Amr, hereafter, or unseen, or the hereafter, and ended with Amr. Remember, the surah started with Amr, Day of Judgment, and ended with Day of Judgment. And in the middle, there was this dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted people to ponder, to remove the ghashiyah and to have the ma'rifat. Iyab is return to Allah. Another point connected with ma'rifat, to the system of Amr. So we came from system of Amr, we're going back to system of Amr. So Allah did not say, Inna ilayna qudumahum. Inna ilayna, they're coming to me. They're coming to my system of Amr. No. He says, Iyab. In Ziyarat Waritha, don't you read? وَبِإِيَّابِكُمْ مُوقِنْ. I believe in your return. You went, you're going to return. So return, ruju' means also return. We come from somewhere, we return. That's why they call that the return ticket, tazkira murajja, return. Marja, we return. We do taqleed to them. Whenever we have problems, we come back to them in our problems so that they can find a solution. So we return to them, we refer to them. So Iyab is return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the system of Amr, and not going to. Allah did not say going to, He says return, but returning. That means that our spirit, the pure, remember the light, where did it come from? Came from the system of Amr. Okay, that means our spirit came from the system, came here to the system of Khalq. This is system of Khalq. From where did it come? It came from the system of Amr, and will go to the same system back again. 16 times God has used your return. Marji'ukum is to Him. Okay, marji'ukum ila rabbikum, or they will return. Marji'uhum ila rabbim. Marja', return. They're going to return. Not they're going to go back. Dhihabuhum, no. Rihlatuhum, no. It is marja', ruju'. So the one who has Marifat realizes that this world is a temporary or a visiting place. We are visitors here on this earth. Our soul is visiting, our spirit is visiting here. And the real residence, permanent residence is where? In the system of Amr, where the paradise is located, where the Jahannam is located, where we came, we were worshiping Allah in Alam al-Dhar, primordial time, or the higher levels of Malakut. So if we say, Alama Taba is Malakut, is Kun Fayakun, so we have Malakut, we are here in Khalq. But other scholars, they say the whole thing is Malakut. So that means higher level of Malakut, where Kun Fayakun, Amr, lower level of Malakut, where there is Khalq. So here I gave you 2 ayat to indicate that we are going to go back. So let's try not to waste our time in messing up with our nafs and making it dirty and putting ghishawa after ghishawa, curtains after curtains on it. Inna ilayna iyabahum. Verily, their return is going to be to us. Alladhina idha asabatum musibatun. Those people who have Marifat, and those people, they get, no matter how trouble they get, how difficulty, how trials and tribulations and musibat, they say, no problem, inshallah, this is a visiting place. What will happen? Worst case, we'll die. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We're going to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eventually, back to the system where there's no barrier between us and Allah. See this light? There's no barrier. You can feel the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I have kept this source site, so you can also find there. And finally, the answer to the question, another, okay? Another. Let me see, we have 10 minutes. Inshallah, hopefully, I'm going to wrap up now with this nazar. So we have basar, okay? Physical eyesight. So what is this basar? The basar is physical eyesight, mostly used. Metaphorically, it can indicate but sometimes the structure is changed to basira. Basira means insight, and basar means eyesight. Okay. So here we have this basar, mostly physical, could be intellectual insight. If we change the structure, it can be intellectual. Like basar, we have to make it basira to indicate insight. Sometimes basar also can be, but rarely is used metaphorically for the intellect. Now, when we go to this translation website, which I have linked, basar in al-ma'ani, basar or basira, from sight, basira, insight. Good judgment, indahu basira, insight, yes, that means good judgment. Foresight, wisdom, to view. So it could come with the meaning of nazar, it could come with the meaning of ru'ya. Nazar is to look, ru'ya is to see. So, but mostly you see eyesight, sight, vision, looks, catch a sight, opinion, awareness. So there are opinion and awareness also, basar, but like faham, but it is rarely used in that. Like discern, know, perceive, realize. So this is the linguistics they tell us. So how can we specify? Mostly basar is physical eyesight. Basira is insight. Specification, if let's say it's a specific meaning. So specification depends on the context and the clue. So again, we have to go back to the clue to check whether it is eyesight or is it insight. So the word itself, basira, is a clue that it's insight. Okay, so we have to check the clues which divert the meaning from its literal, physical, looking, okay, looks to the metaphysical. So it is something which is coming out mostly in a physical sense. Okay, let's take the another one. Anzur, nazar. What is this nazar? Remember, Prophet Musa said, Ya Allah, arini anzur ilayk. Show me how to look at you. So this is looking. So basar was sight, looking at something with sight. This, the Arabic, when you translate, you have to say, anzur, anzur, look, like kulla, kulla, okay, like dekho, dekho. So this is like look, anzur. Now this has been used equally from physical to intellectual. So starting from the sight, to look, to see, and could include meanings such as to guide, or to contemplate, or to compare, to debate. Remember nazariya, theory, nazar. to be equal, to wait, to postpone, to delay, to expect, and so on. You can go to the linguistic encyclopedia. You have lots of meaning. Okay, but initially it's look with your eyes. And when the context of Quran comes, Quran doesn't want you to look at it just like look at it. No, looking with deep looks like contemplation, pondering. So that's why I said, why did we specify look as contemplating looks? Because of the clue. Quran is a context which tells us of tadabbur, reflect. So everything has to do with reflection. Quran cannot just waste time, our time and Quran's time as well, just to look at things just for looks. No, think what is in it, how is it. So specification depends on the clues, the context and clues. Again, same thing. So now we know basar, we know nazar. Basar mostly is physical. Nazar could be both. And then we have ra'a, same thing, from the physical side to the intellectual side. Starting from the physical sighting to the other meanings, such as to demonstrate, to conceive, to consider, to deem an opinion, and so on. There's list. Okay, so how will I know? The context. Specifications depend on the context and the clues. For example, there's one ayat, Allah used basar, nazar, and ra'a. Three of things. Three of these words have been used in this ayat. If you go to Surah 1051, hence Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, no, not this one, sorry. I'm going to come to that. But this is an example of awareness. Surah 52, Surah 50:22, it means knowledge here. So ra'a means knowledge here. And Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was asking for more awareness and recognition. So when Prophet Musa says, Rabbi arini anzur ilayk, show me, arini. Like if I translate literally, let me see how to see you. Arini, see. Anzur, see. Let me see how to see you. It doesn't work out like that. So the context is no, you have to change meanings. So arini has to be show me. So Prophet Musa wants some theoretical things here. Show me. I need to know. I need to anzur ilayk. I need to look at you. This look at you. That means Prophet Musa wants to look with physical eyes? No, it is impossible. See, this is my clue. This is my intellectual clue. Impossibility. Impossible. Our Anbiya, they are the most intellectual beings on the earth in their time. How can Prophet Musa ask something absurd as looking at God, which is logically totally absurd? You cannot. God is not physical. And Prophet Musa very well knows that, salamullah alayh. It's impossible that Prophet Musa alayhi salam wants to look at God physically with this eye. So that nazar is not. We have to divert the meaning. The context is different. The context of Quran, the context of Nabi from the Anbiya, Ulul Azm, but the top 5 Anbiya. He wants to see God physically, like some of the crazy Bani Israel, they want to look publicly God physically. Okay, Prophet Musa can never ask that. There are several interpretations, you can check it out, but this is, I chose this interpretation because this is very strongest interpretation. This is Irfani interpretation, mystical interpretation, like spiritual interpretation, because our Anbiya, they're mystical creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mystical servants of Allah, they're Irfani. How can Prophet Musa depend on the physical things and, Ya Allah, show me how you look? No. So it is more than that. He wants to look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from his heart. He wants this ghishawa, ghashia to be totally. But Prophet Musa doesn't have a ghashia, but he feels, he wants more. He wants to be more and more closer to Allah. Like Imam Ali alayhi salam, like the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, whenever they see anything, God is there. This kind of level Prophet Musa alayhi salatu want to reach. He wants to reach that kind of yaqeen. That there's no God, I want to feel that you are everywhere around me, with me. Remove these barriers from me. As we see Allah after we die, all the barriers are removed. So we feel the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We feel the reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That kind of connection, bond, is Prophet Musa alayhi salam seeking. Remember our A'immas alayhi salam say that some guy come, have you seen God? How can I worship somebody I've not seen? Maulana, but you guys are condemning. Yes, I've not seen with my eyes. I've seen my God with my heart. So our A'immas alayhimus salam, they have seen God. They see God every second of their life. So they have reached the level. Amir al-Mu'minin says, if the curtains are away from me, I will not go higher. I have reached the topest, the highest level. I have reached the summit of yaqeen, that existence of Allah. I feel Allah everywhere. So Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam is asking Allah to go higher and reach that level, okay, where everything is moved. There's physical, there's no, like he's in a physical world, and as he's not in a physical world, like Amir al-Mu'minin. Amir al-Mu'minin is a physical world, salamullah alayhi, but he's as in a metaphysical world, okay? These things do not, his curtains are totally away. So Prophet Musa feels like that feeling. He's expressing, Ya Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so these words have been used not in a literal sense. So there's therefore basar, basara, nadara, ra'a. Basara, he sighted. Nadara, he looked. Ra'a, he saw. And if we have clue, then he thought and pondered, and all the other things can come. So these three are interchangeable words. Let's look at the ayat of Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and see what happened. So he says, Qala Rabbi arini anzur ilayk. Anzur. Look, show me how to look at you. No. He's meaning, let my heart totally feel that yaqeen, 100% yaqeen, okay? Qala lan tarani, Musa, you're not going to see me. Forever? No. Allah made a condition. That means you can see me. You can see me. But in this world, there's a condition, because you are surrounded by physical things. Because if at this point, if I remove the barrier between me and you, you'll die. You'll be finished. You cannot tolerate me. You have to have more and more potential to be able to see me like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So your rank has not reached that level. Remember, Adam wished to be like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the Anbiya, they would want to be like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah had reached that level. The Anbiya, they want to reach that level. They're struggling. So the Prophet Musa says, no, you have to go through a lot of struggle. It requires your heart to be strong in order to sense my existence 100%. So there's a condition. Look at that mountain. The mountain is the most solid thing. And look, I will remove the curtain. The mountain will crumble. So your heart, is it more stronger than the mountain? Like the heart of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is my understanding. Or your heart is like the mountain or weaker than the mountain. Okay, so you have to have strong tolerance, Musa alayhi salam. You see, then only you will find me automatically. Everything will be removed. But at this point, I'm going to remove everything. Look what happened to the mountain. So this is the thing, the toughness, you see. And you know, Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was very tough prophet. Obviously, he had people, Bani Israel. You have to be tough like Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Otherwise, they will eat you up alive. So this is the nazar and rara. So this, here I have kept, I'll send you the slide. I've kept the analysis of Allama Tabatabai and Allama Majlisi. And let's go now quickly through the ayat which talks about these words. وَإِنِّي مُرْسِلَةٌ إِلَيْكُمْ بِهَدِيَّةٍ Bilqis, the queen of Sheba, she said that I'm going to send gifts to Sulaiman, because Prophet Sulaiman sent a letter come to Islam. She said, let us bribe him, okay? These people will give them the gifts and they will be happy. So, فَنَاظِرَةٌ نَاظِرَةٌ I'm going to look. Is she going to look? Bima yarja. So my messenger, what answer comes back from him, I'm going to look. So is it like a kind of look which is a physical look? No. She's going to wait. She's going to wait, okay, until. So here it has been used to wait to see what happens. So for nadhara. Ila rabbiha nadhara. On the day of judgment, they will be looking at their Lord. How can they look at their Lord? So either they'll be looking at the bounties of their Lord, or they'll be looking by heart, not by hearts, by heart, like the looks of Amir al-Mu'minin to Allah, looks of our Imams alayhi salam, intellectual looks, okay, in the metaphysical sense, like Allah exists. Metaphysically, I'm looking at Allah. And then, Alam tara anna Allah yasjudu. I'm going to leave this ayat for you to ponder and reflect. Because our time is done. But those who ask the question about the differences, these ayat will let you ponder in these differences. But basically, like, this is the ayat. This is the ayat which says, إِنَّهُ فَكَّرَ وَقَدَّرَ فَقُتِلَ كَيْفَ قَدَّرَ ثُمَّ قُتِلَ كَيْفَ قَدَّرَ ثُمَّ نَظَرَ. So he he pondered. But after pondering and realizing that God is one and God exists and God, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he denied. So that's why he's going to burn in hellfire, because he did not look at Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He did not look at the Quran. No, inna fakkara wa qaddar. He thought. So this nazar is the conclusion after looking at all these evidences and argument. And yes, قل سيروا في الأرض فانظروا لا تدركوا الأبصار. The basar, remember the look, physical eye look. So Allah has used this word. Eyes physically cannot reach Allah. Allah looks at the eyes, but eyes cannot look Allah. Okay, just as a gist. This one also, tell the mu'mineen, male and female, to lower their gaze, to lower their looks. Absarihim. So basar means physical, okay? And then take this shirt to my father. Place this shirt on the face of my father. Ya'ti basiran. His eyesight will come back. Basar. So that's why I said basar is mostly used in a physical sense. Rarely it is used. So literally basar is for physical eyesight. Metaphorically it can be anything, and we need clue. And then falamma alqahu, when they brought the shirt, they placed it on the face of the father. فَارْتَدَّ بَصِيرًا. And on the day of judgment, we are going to make them blind. They will not be able to see the sirat in Surah Yasin. And that is enough for today. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. I think that ayat which had three things I forgot to keep. Anyhow, there's an ayat which has basar, nazar, and ru'ya. So now is the time to answer the questions. Let's try to